So this is the web page for the decomp project, and specifically the section for how to install the PSP Maria hack for PlayStation. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can read through this yourself and probably figure it out, but I'll walk you through the steps in case there's any parts here that you might be confused on. So the goal of the mod is to replace Richter for Maria in Symphony of the Night. This means you do have to type Richter as the name code when starting the game if you want to play as Maria. So the way that this works is you are going to need your own copy of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the US version for the PlayStation. You're also going to need your own copy of Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, specifically the European version for PSP. And you're also going to need Docker Desktop, which is a program that will essentially create the hack for you. And the way this is all set up here is because the hack is trying to be fully legally compliant by not providing any sort of copywritten material for you to download. This means all the stuff for creating this hack is stuff that you're going to need to find on your own. There is a link to the actual download site for Docker, but as far as the actual disk images of the two versions, you're going to need to find those on your own. Whatever you do, do not, I repeat, do not go to google.com and type in download Castlevania ROM now, please. I am a little baby who doesn't know how to download ROMs in the year 2025 somehow. Just don't do that. Whatever you do. Anyways, once you have access to the different versions of the game and you're ready to download Docker, you can click on this hyperlink to go to the download website. Here, you just download for whatever version of Mac, Linux, Windows that you have. Once you download the installer, the installation does take quite a while, and it is going to ask you to restart your PC. So go through that whole process once you get a chance. It will take a while, just be patient. So let's get to actually making the game files work. First off, you're going to need to rename your PlayStation copy of Symphony of the Night to SotN.us.bin. Windows tends to hide file extensions by default. In that case, you could just rename it to SotN.us and it'll work. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up my copy right now. Okay, so I have my folder looking pretty much the same as the visual in the actual text tutorial. So once you have all that set up, next we're gonna need to start Docker Desktop. So I've gone through and downloaded and read all the prompts carefully when you download this. Make sure you understand what you're doing here. I'm not going to walk you through the process of actually installing this yourself because it's pretty straightforward. Just slow down and actually read. I know, terrifying stuff here. You're being forced to read something. I'm sorry. But once you have it installed, it will look like this. Wow, look at that. The same as the actual text tutorial. Step 3, locate the PSP Maria mod. So just like it shows here for step 3, you're going to want to go to the search bar that's at the top right here, search, and type in this string right here into the search. I'm just going to control C, control V that. We'll just copy and paste that right here. And wow, it pops up right here. So this here, it's going to ask you to click the run button. So let's click the run button. It also said this will take a while, so be patient, which is exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward as this runs. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay, after that runs for a while, you're going to see this pop up here where you'll get this little thing that says run a new container. Here, this is step 4, prepare the mod. Under optional settings in the volume section, click the 3 blue dots next to the host path. So optional settings, click the 3 dots next to host path. Here, it's going to ask you where the folder is that has both of your Castlevania games on it. I have it under this folder that just says games. So here, this is the folder that we showed earlier. This is the one that has SotN US and SotN.PSP.EU inside of it. So let's go ahead and select that folder. And then on this next section here, under container path, just write /disks. And then you just click run and it's going to install the mod. So this is what it looks like as it's installing the mod. This is going to be visible on docker.setup, and you'll know when it's done installing when this little play button up here turns from gray to blue. So this again is another process that will take a little while. So just be patient and we're going to be back when that's done downloading. And once it's done and you see this little play button up here, you should be ready to go. So this is what the folder now looks like that originally had the 2 games in it, SotN.us.bin and SotN.PSP.EU.ISO. We now have this Maria PSP 4PSX folder. Inside of here, you're going to find your SotN patched US bin. All you got to do here is run this bin file on any emulator that handles bin files if you know how to do that, or you can transfer this to an actual PlayStation if you know how to do that. That's what I did to run on my PlayStation. I played it off of flash memory and you're good to go. So yeah, if you have an emulator that can play PlayStation games, you can just load this up for yourself and you can have fun. And I'll go ahead and showcase that it did actually work. So let's boot up the game here. And to prove that it worked, I just booted into the game here. I don't have save data to play as Richter in Richter mode, which would then let you play as Maria. But to showcase that Maria is replacing Richter here she is in the prologue for the game. It does indeed work. It's that simple.